everybody. Welcome to episode 35 of the Brownie Knits podcast. I'm your host, Gina, aka Brownie Knits, and this is Kennedy, aka Kiki. So thank you so much for watching this episode. If you're a returning viewer, welcome back. If you're a new viewer, welcome to the podcast. I podcast from the Midwestern portion of the United States. It is February 3rd, and the groundhog yesterday predicted an early spring, if you believe in those things, and when he predicts an early spring, I do. So I'm hopeful for that. So I thought I would share today with you some finished knitted items, a crocheted item, some works in progress, talk about our giveaways that we have going on, and our knit-alongs and crochet-alongs we have going on in the group. Yeah, so should we get into it, you think? Yeah? Okay. So the first thing I have up, if you watch the podcast for a little bit, you know that I've been on a little bit of a yarn buying ban in January and February. So it's February 3rd, so I'm counting down the days. It's going to be difficult because I'm going to go visit with a friend who we always go to a yarn shop, so I'm not sure I'll be able to hold out, but I'm going to try. But anyway, I did not purchase any yarn, but I still have acquisitions for my stash. So I thought I'd show those first. First up, I won and I've never won a giveaway before, so I was super excited. In Reggie's podcast, I think that's how you pronounce your name. I always say Reggie because I'm, but I think it's Reggie. And her Splat Regina podcast is a great podcast, and she had she co-hosted a knit along in the fall, and it was the Fall in Love knit along. So I knitted up a hat for my nephew Jack using my Raleigh brand hat pattern, and entered, and I won a spectacular giveaway package. And I'm going to try to put up a photo of it here next to me. We'll see if that happens. I apologize if you're not seeing it. But then within that package was this lovely yarn from Craftfulness. And it is just gorgeous. I love the color combinations. And it's 75% BFL, 25% nylon, and it's a super wash. And I really liked her business cards too, her logo and business cards. And that is Sandra, and she does have an Etsy shop. It's etsy.com/craftfulness. So I'll put that in the show notes in case you're interested. I think she also has roving. She definitely has bags because that was part of the package that I won. So yeah, it was fun. What do you think? You want to give it a sniff? You give it a sniff. She loves to smell alpaca and cashmere. She has expensive taste, but her favorite by far is baby alpaca, and she will just absolutely fight you for those blankets. The one and only time I've ever caught her and her brother actually getting into a project was when it was cashmere and angora. And they had that thing. It was destroyed. It was absolutely destroyed. But that was the only time in all these years. So next up, I have a couple skeins of yarn that were gifted to me by my hubby. He was gone. He went to Denver on a business trip. I think it was when I was recording the last episode of the podcast, actually. And he texted me and he said, "You're not going to believe this, but first of all, the office is in a strip mall, and secondly, there's a yarn store across from it." And I said, "Oh, but I'm on a yarn buying ban." And he texted back saying, well, he wasn't on a yarn buying ban, so I couldn't stop him. But I didn't ask him specifically to go in there and get anything or anything like that. So he went in there with one of his coworkers who was funny. He thought he might find a gift for his kids, and he got in there, and Patrick said he just looked around and went, "But it's all yarn." It's a yarn job. So anyway, Patrick has watched the podcast from the beginning, which is so sweet of him. And he saw in the last podcast episode that I wanted to make a Pazarine hat. And so he looked it up on Ravelry and went in and found a couple skeins of yarn that I think will be beautiful as the Pazarine hat. And I'm hoping to have that knitted up by the next time I podcast. I wanted to save it in the skeins just to show you guys. So the top one is from the Neighborhood Fiber Company. And this is a yarn company store that was new to me when I went to Rhinebeck. I hadn't heard of them yet. They have a brick and mortar storefront in Baltimore. And a lot of their yarn colors are based off of inspiration from around the city. And for instance, this one, here's their tag, is the Rustic Fingering 100% Superwash Merino, and the color is Old Town. So isn't that beautiful? And I'm just noticing on the back of here, the yarn store that I mentioned, it's actually, I don't think it's in Denver proper. I think it's in one of the suburbs, is Colorful Yarns. Okay, so he purchased that one for the Pazarine hat. And then Madeline Tosh Merino Light, and the color is Turn. And it has T-E-R-N, not T-U-R-N. And it has lovely variations of gray in it, silver and gray. So I just think it'll be a gorgeous hat. So I'm very excited to cast that on and give it a go and get that hat knitted up. So, although it's been really, like, it's supposed to be cold again starting today, I think, but it's been really warm here lately. So my knits have been kind of in hibernation. Last night it was so warm that we had our back door, we have like a screen door in the back door that goes to our deck. And we had that open while we were downstairs last night watching basketball. So on February 2nd, it was rather strange to have the door open, but hey, I love it. So I'm not complaining. Yeah, so even though I'm not supposed to be acquiring yarn stash, I did. So I'm thinking that the yarn I won from the giveaway will probably be a pair of socks, and then obviously the other yarn will be the Pazarine hat. Might actually even be able to get 2 hats out of that. I'm not quite sure about the yardage, so I'll have to look at that. Okay, so now I'm going to move on to finished knits and crochets. I finished my Baker Street socks, and these are in Knit Picks Felici, and the color is Baker Street. I did 64 stitches on a US 1, a 2.25 millimeter. Magic loop cuff down. I did a short row garter heel and a rounded decreased toe. And I wanted to mention a couple things with the socks. First, I had someone asked me how to get them to come out to match when you don't have a ball that's like predetermined in some way for you. And because I do all of my socks cuff down, I take careful note. I do a long tail cast on at the top, and so I take careful note of where the color change is on my first stitch of the long tail. So I try to put that first stitch as a color swap in the yarn, and that way I know that's exactly where I need to start the next one, the second sock. Doesn't always work out perfectly, but it usually works out pretty well. And then I also try to make it, if I can, in terms of length and stuff, if I can end, if I'm using a striped sock, if I can end after one colorway or one color stripe changes and then start the heel on the next color, I try to do that too, because then it's easier to know where to place it on the second sock too. So it doesn't always work out. It's much easier to do that with your heel than it is when you start your decreased toes. Decreases for the toe, but I try to do that as well. So there's a little, like, what I do. I'm sure there are a zillion ways to do it. The other thing I wanted to mention about socks while I was thinking about it, I wanted to acknowledge Autumn, who's a member in our Brownie Knits Ravelry group, and she is Libra Girl, hang on, 213 in Ravelry. And Autumn last year was talking to me, and she really wanted to learn how to knit socks and was pretty determined, and she did. She's finished a couple pairs already and has them up in our 2016 Stashdown thread on the Ravelry group. So congratulations, Autumn, you did it. And Autumn and I go way back. Like, Autumn and I grew up in the same small town, and so you knew everybody in the town. And so we've really known each other since we were little girls, and hadn't really talked or anything in adulthood, but then reconnected on social media and through our love of yarn. So that's kind of fun. Yes, we both grew up in a very small town in southern Indiana. It has a very funny name. So if you're from the US, I bet you can guess what it is. So I'll leave that out for you. You guys can Google to see if you can figure it out. Okay. Next up, I have, and I haven't woven in the ends, and I just gave these next two projects a quick steam block. I haven't wet blocked them so they don't look as gorgeous as they will. The first one, I loved, absolutely loved knitting this shawl. And I did the smaller version because I was trying to save half skeins of the yarns for some other projects I had in mind. But if I had it to do over again, I think I would have just done the larger version and just gotten other yarns for the other two projects. But this is the Across the Pond shawl by Mina Phillipp, and Mina has the Knitting Expat podcast, which is a fabulous podcast. I'm a little bit obsessed with watching it right now. If you watch Mina, you know that she's been in a sock competition, and she's amazingly fast. Like, I don't know how she does it. I mean, I see how she does it, but I would never have the patience. So anyway, yeah, I haven't woven in the ends. So I used, on the top portion here, I used Dream in Color Smooshy with cashmere and in the Magic Orchid colorway. And that was the yarn I had in my stash from last year or the year before. And then in the bottom here, for the lace portion, I used Haute Knits sock yarn in the, I have it right here. It's their Tweed sock, which is an 85% superwash merino, 15% nylon tweed. And the color for this one, I think it's called Meet Me at the Ballet. Yeah. Because it has like those, it definitely has the tweed black flecks in it, but it has that pink in it that I thought went perfectly with the Smooshy. And I just think it's gorgeous. So I plan to wear it like around the front of my neck. And like I said, I just gave it a steam block. So I think when I wet block it, it'll, the lace will block out even more. So I was so thrilled with that pattern, and it was really, really, really well written. So I highly recommend it if you're looking for a shawl pattern. It is paid for, but it's worth the money. And like I said, this is the small version, and then there's a large version as well. So that was one of my, the Baker Street socks and the Across the Pond shawl were two projects for 2016 Stashdown. And if you're not familiar with that, in the Brownie Knits Ravelry group, we're having a year-long knit along / crochet along, where we're just making projects from our stash. And you can still like shop for yarn and stuff for other stuff, but we're just only projects that are from stash yarn prior to January 1st, 2016 are eligible for the giveaways and things like that. So it's been satisfying to work on things from stash and see that go down a little bit. So I didn't anticipate getting more yarn, but I'll just knit that up too. And then the second or third project that I finished this time for 2016 Stashdown is this half granny square shawl that I crocheted out of Hedgehog fibers, and it's their sock base, and it is the color Villain. And this is a free Ravelry download, and the designer is Anastacia Zittel, Zittel. I think I said Anastasia last time, and I was looking at it. I think it's Anastacia, but one or the other. Anyway, in her pattern, she just keeps it to the half granny square. But I wanted something on the edge, and like I said, I only steam blocked this, so it hasn't been pinned out. So when this is pinned out, the edging that I did will give it a little more depth and a little interest, because I really thought these were great colors for spring. So I wanted to do something that had like a lattice on the bottom edge. And so I just did chain stitches. So I did like 8 chains, and then I connected them to every other one on the granny square, and then on the subsequent row I just connected them to the previous 8 chains, so the center of it. So I think it's really cute, turned out cute, and then when it blocks out, it'll have even more depth to it. So it's just a little, like, you know, something to keep your neck warm kind of thing. Not very big, but it feels amazing. The yarn is just so soft and gorgeous. And I have a little bit of it left, just a little, so that I can do, I don't know, something with it. So those are my finished projects for this time. And yeah, so then next up, it's February, and I'm co-hosting a knit along, crochet along with Lina from Lina Knits. And so in the month of February for 2016, we are hosting Finish It February. So you can use the hashtag Finish It February on Ravelry and Instagram, so we can see each other's projects and photos. You can enter giveaways on both her page, Lina Knits group in Ravelry, and on mine. And then we'll draw after everybody's posted things for February. We'll draw at the beginning of March and give our announcement. I'll show you the giveaway price here in a second. But the reason I'm explaining it now is these next 2 projects that are works in progress are actually ones that have been on my needles for a long time. So I'm really hoping to finish them as part of Finish It February. So first up, I'm really pretty good about not having second sock syndrome, unless I'm designing a sock, and then it's for different reasons. But when I had these socks on the needles last year, I only have one pair of US 1 needles that I like to use for my socks. And so I wanted to start the Christmas Eve cast on socks as part of the Little Bobbins group. And I had one sock done, and then second sock was like the cuff was done on these socks. And so I took the second sock off the needles so I could use them for something else, and then I just never got back to it. So I thought, well, I'll do it for Finish It February. So I do have one sock done. I have this one all completed. And then I have the second one. Like I said, when I started it the other day, it just had the cuff. So I've made a little bit of progress in these first few days of February. So I think we'll be in good shape. I'm to the heel now, so I'm getting ready to work the Phillip's Kiss heel. These are on US 1 needles, Phillip Kiss heel, a decreased toe that's at the sides, and then 64 stitches, and the yarn is Turtlepurl yarns. They're Turtle Toes Om, O-M colorway. And I'm keeping this in my little Bird Leg Bags London bag, which I just love this little cubed bag. And one other thing that I wanted to show you about these socks that is kind of funny. I have them on a different pair of sock blockers than I normally show. I usually have my wooden ones, but I have these sock blockers that are plastic that I got a long time ago, and they're from Yaks Design. I'm not sure if you can see that impression, but they are also needle gauges. So both of them are needle gauges. And so And they're really durable because they're a hard plastic. And I thought I would share, I keep forgetting to share this, and it's kind of funny. So at my house, when the nieces and nephews come over, I have a few like items that are just for them. I keep in the closet and then just pull out, and they're always here for them to play with, like toys and things like that. Well, we hosted my youngest nephew for a week this summer and then a week during his fall break. And he loves bath time, but he loves toys in bath time. And so I went into a bit of a panic and I was like, oh my God, what am I going to give him? So I had a few things from the little outside blow up pool that we let him play in. So I had a few items there, but it wasn't really, I don't know, it just wasn't really something great for bath time. So I pulled these out, and then so this summer he had them for bath time, and then when he came back up in the fall, he wanted the big feet. So these are a bath time must now when you come to Aunt Gina's house. So he likes to play that they're the big monster, getting, you know, whatever in his imagination. So these are the bath time sock blockers. So they have a lot of different uses. You can block your socks, you can measure your needles, and you can use them at bath time. So anyway, I thought that was a cute little, you know, you use what you have around the house, right? Okay. So then my next work in project is a big one to finish in February. This is the Maisie sweater by Hanna Maciejewska. And it is a paid for pattern in Ravelry. And this sweater, I was drawn to it, one, because it's out of fingering weight yarn. So it's a little bit lighter weight, which is great for me. And then two, it has, I'm not sure you're going to be able to see, it's not blocked out. It has this lovely lace detail as a pocket on the front of it, and it actually goes down the sides of the sleeves, the middle of the sleeves too. So I started knitting it, and I was cooking right along. I was really rolling on it, and then we went to Rhinebeck, and I thought I would get it done on my way to Rhinebeck, and I had a work thing come up, and I had to spend all of my travel time that week on a design for a company. And so I didn't get to work on my sweater, and then I just lost my sweater mojo. So I'm hoping that I can finish it up during Finish It February. I want to add, well, obviously I've got to finish both sleeves. And then I think what I'm going to do, I'm going to block it, and then if I think that it's too short after blocking, then I might add on some more inches at the bottom. I like my sweaters kind of long, and I thought this was going to be long enough, and now I'm just a little bit worried. So we'll see. But I think it's gorgeous. The colors aren't showing up totally accurate. It's out of Malabrigo Mechita in the teal feather colorway. So that's my big Finish It February project. So I'm hoping to get the socks done and that sweater for Finish It February. And then my third work in progress is not part of Finish It February. I casted it on yesterday, but it is part of a knit along of sorts. One, it is stash yarn, so it does qualify for 2016 Stashdown. But two, it is yarn that I bought at Rhinebeck for myself and for my close friend Carol, so that we could knit it together. And Carol lives in Cincinnati, so we don't get to see each other that often. So we like to do things like this together. You know, it just makes you feel not so distant. But we're actually going to get to see each other this weekend too, so I think we're going to knit on them together. And so it is the Faberge Shawl by Aylor, Aylor. And I'm making, well, we're both making, because I picked it out of Dragonfly Fibres. And this is their sock weight Pixie. And the color is Mermaid. And then the second color is this lovely red. I know I put the tag in here so I could tell you. Dragonberry. Isn't that gorgeous? I mean, it is just the most beautiful red. So let me pull it up here so you can see it. And I think maybe that I might use beads on mine. I'm trying to decide. So the bottom of the Faberge shawl, and it's Faberge like the Faberge egg, has this pleated ruffle. And then it goes into a braided area where you have like the red, in my case, will overlay on top of the teal. And then it has an eyelet portion at the top that will just be the teal. And yeah, it's been really fun. It has 2 sizes. You can do either a shawl or a kerchief. And I'm making the shawl. I think Carol might make the kerchief. I'm using the needle sizes that it said in the pattern, which is a 6 and a 5. What else? I'm going to show these to you, but I really don't know who they're from, okay? I think they're all from Etsy, so if you did a sheep stitch marker search on Etsy, you could probably find them. They're 2 different companies, so these outside ones are from one Etsy shop, and then the center one is a different little sheep from a different Etsy shop. So my little stitch markers. Do you guys do that? I coordinate my stitch markers. Like I'll coordinate, well in this case I didn't coordinate my project bag, but I usually do. And then I coordinate my stitch markers with my project or with the season, you know, things like that. So anyway, what else can I tell you about this one? Oh, here are the beads. So I'm trying to decide whether or not I want to use beads. And I have these teal green beads, which my problem here is the yarn I'm using is more of a teal blue and these are more teal green. So I'm not sure I want that competing. So then I have these red beads, which I think are beautiful and actually match the red better. But I think they'll be on the red yarn. So I'm not sure how much they'll stick out, but I might be okay with that. I don't know that I want something screaming beads when I wear it. So we'll see. I don't know. What do you guys think? All right. So those are my works in progress right now. I have a few other things on the needles that are like long-term works in progress that I show every now and then on the podcast. All right. So now it's time for Knitspiration. And in this episode's Knitspiration, I have 2 things that I found very inspiring. The first one is someone that I follow on Instagram, and her Instagram handle is The Little Beans. So The Little B-E-N-Z. B-E-E-N-Z. And she is in New Zealand. And her little tag on Instagram is handmade crochet goodness from New Zealand. And so I just thought I'd show you guys some of what I think is so inspiring. I mean, she just has beautiful photos and then just so much colorful stuff. Aren't they gorgeous? Just so beautiful. And the thing that I have been obsessing over and thinking about from her is this. And I think maybe she made this for like a birthday party. Yeah, I think so. And I just think it's so cute. And I really, I think I'm gonna start one. Because I am finding this inspiring. So I think I might start this and make up my own little garland, crocheted flower garland to hang up downstairs, just because, you know, just to have some extra color in life. So she is definitely someone that I just love her photos. I think they're beautiful. Here the garland is again, and she took the photo in front of like a little chair or something, whatever, on their back deck or whatever. It's also kind of nice because she's in New Zealand, so it's opposite seasons for me, so I get to see some hopeful pictures. Yeah, so that's one thing that I found really inspiring. And then the other person that I wanted to tell you guys about that I find really inspiring is Knitting I Love. And that is a YouTube channel run by Barbara. And you know what? Barbara is, I believe, in Ireland. And I love, love, love her videos. She has a podcast that is more traditional as well, but then she does these short videos that are 5 to 10 minutes, and sometimes they are reviewing a magazine. Sometimes they are talking about a project that she's completed. And I really love her energy and her enthusiasm and how she has put together the videos. I love just everything about the videos themselves and her projects. And she's infectious with her enthusiasm. So that's another thing that I would check out. I'm a little obsessed with watching those videos right now. So, all right, so that's this week's Knitspiration. First giveaway that we have is coming up very fast, and that is for my friend's novel, A Thousand Falling Crows by Larry D. Swayze. It's a standalone mystery novel that just came out, and he did sign it for us. And I paired it with this Dream in Color Starry yarn. So it's got like the silver flecks in it. And to register for this giveaway, you can go to the Ravelry group, the Brownie Knits Ravelry group, and there's a thread where you can tell me what your favorite bird is. Get it? Crows. So tell me what your favorite bird is, and then I will draw for that coming up shortly. I believe I said in the thread when I'm drawing for it. So you have a few more weeks at least to get registered for that, and then I'll ship you out the yarn and the book. And then our second giveaway is for Finish It February. So in the Brownie Knits Ravelry group, there's a thread for Finish It February. There's also one in the Lina Knits group. You can register in both. And I'll be drawing from the chatter and works in progress postings for a free copy of one of my patterns. But then I'll also be drawing from the finished objects postings, so those photos, the finished objects, for this little giveaway package. And you get 2 skeins of the sock hop yarn, which is hand spun and hand dyed, and this is in the Black Magic Woman colorway. You get these little clover knitting needle holders and this little bag of Made with Love charms. So go up and toss up a photo of whatever it is that you finish in February. So the rules state that it has to be a project that you started last year, or well, not last year, has started before 2016. So, and then the other giveaway that we have going on, so for the 2016 Stashdown, you can go and enter for this, excuse me, it's year long, and it's knit and crochet, and we're knitting and crocheting from stash yarn, as long as the majority of your project is from stash yarn. And WIPs that were started before 2016 also qualify for that. So every other month I will draw a winner from that for a prize package. And in February I'll be drawing, and they will get 2 skeins of Knit Picks Swish in the Wine Tasting tonal colorway, just worsted weight. One of the little EOS lip balms, which this one is pomegranate and raspberry. And then a little pink Hiya puppy snip. So go up to the Ravelry group, enter for all of those giveaways. Hopefully you'll win. I hope you guys haven't lost your knitting and crochet mojo, and that you're doing just great. I was trying to think if there's been very much going on in our life. There has been, but they're not, yeah. But we did get to go watch my oldest nephew. He's in 6th grade now, and he's on like a little travel basketball team. So we drove up this past Sunday. All his games are on Sunday, and we drove up this past Sunday and watched him play a couple games, which was great fun. And I got to hang out with my brother-in-law and sister-in-law, who I absolutely adore, and my father-in-law. And my father-in-law and I love to talk college basketball. And it was really extra fun to do that with him while we were watching my nephew's games. So it was just a really fun day. It was really, it was like a family get together with all the pressure of like who's gonna make what meal for the meal and that kind of thing. You know, it was just like you just went and sat and enjoyed each other's company and had some fun. So that was really a fun little outing. So that was probably our big excitement for the week. So, you know, in February in Indiana, there's just not a huge amount of excitement. I think that's why we love sports so much in the Midwest. Gives you something to do, something to watch. So, all right, my voice is getting really raspy. I'm not sure what's going on. So maybe I just need to go get a drink of water and rest my voice. I'm not used to talking this much because I'm at home by myself. So, all right. Anyway, I'm babbling on. So you guys have a great couple weeks and I'll see you then. And I think, let's see, will that be, I'm not sure if I'll be back before Valentine's Day. So if I'm not, hope you enjoy Valentine's Day if you celebrate it. And I hope you can avoid it if you don't. All right. Happy knitting and crocheting. Bye-bye.